Nothing happens until something gets sold. Everyone wants to know that what they are selling to the client, they're capable of delivering. We believe if you work on your credibility with a client and then you work on capability, commitment and control, they will naturally take you down the path of giving a great outcome to the client that will then deliver obviously a positive outcome back to you. And selling is really just an education. You educate the client around what you've got for them to buy is going to help them have a better outcome. Nothing happens until something gets sold. And selling is really just an education. You educate the client around what you've got for them to buy is going to help them have a better outcome. And I think most of us do it quite naturally, but we can all have frameworks and support mechanisms that make it more structured, more predictable. And very much when you grow your business and you've got more than just yourself as a salesperson, you've got a framework across your business that gives you that regularity and the ability to change one thing and affect many things at the same time.
And let's dive into those frameworks. What are the frameworks that you teach? You've got, the 4 C's, credibility, capability, commitment, and control. What do you mean by that, and how does that change the way salespeople show up? Let's talk about these frameworks and let's unpack it all.
Yeah, look, and you mentioned credibility, capability, commitment, and control, and I sort of start to smile a bit because that's our framework, right?
Yep,
that's our proprietary methodology, and it's so simple. There's no one that can't remember those 4 words: credibility, capability, commitment, and control. And while they are used in our context to sales, they're actually just human terms.
Yeah.
Everyone wants to be credible. Everyone wants to know that what they are selling to the client, they're capable of delivering. Everyone wants to know that there's a two-way commitment between you and the client, and everyone wants to understand why their solution is going to really solve the client's need, and that's the control portion. So these aren't just general sales, these aren't specific sales terms. You'll listen to a lot of podcasts on selling, and they'll tell you, here are the 4 sure ways to close a deal. Here are the 3 ways to handle objections. We just don't. In our methodology, we don't believe in that. We believe if you work on your credibility with a client and then you work on capability, commitment and control, they will naturally take you down the path of giving a great outcome to the client that will then deliver obviously a positive outcome back to you. And within those 4 C's, there is a structure that enables you to know where you're going. And so we say credibility is made up of knowledge and trust. So you go in and talk to a client, how knowledgeable are you with the client's local, regional, global businesses? How trustworthy are you? These are great terms. These aren't traditional terms that you associate with sales, but these are traditional terms that you associate with good business consulting, good ideas like that. And so we look at this and we've worked through and we've found that when you implement the 4 C's methodology, you've got a universal right to win score across your business. You have the ability to score each one of your deals and say, these are the deals that are working best for us. These are the deals that have got a problem. And you can say, so where are we low? Oh, we're low in control on this deal. What are we going to do as a team to lift the control score, which will lift the overall score? So this methodology, whether it be a small product sale you're doing or $100 million outsourcing sale you're doing, it works equally as well because they are good, solid human terms.
Yep. And is there differences between how you approach sales, whether it's a product versus a service? I always say services sometimes can be quite unique in the sale because you can't touch it, you can't feel it. So sometimes selling that product or credibility or can be quite challenging in a service-based business. So you might need some testimonials or case studies. Can you take us through the differences? Are there differences between product and services, and how do we overcome them?
Well, I think clearly, and I agree with you, a service can sometimes not have a solid foundation, and that you need to be able to articulate what a client will feel like. And I say, what would the client feel like Monday morning after you finish delivering the service on Friday afternoon? How will they feel? What will they achieve? And with a product, you can sort of put your hands around it. But if you follow the same framework and you say, how am I going to meet and exceed this client's need? And whether it's with a service or a product, you are able to break down the components of what the client has.